Good evening, back at TV's cabin. I'm going to fix up a little bit of homemade chili. That's what I'm working on here now. I guess if I didn't know how to make chili, I'd probably starve to death. But I do like chili. It's cheap and inexpensive a thing to make as anything, unless you want a hamburger helper and pastas. I try to keep away from too much pasta. I like it. It's not that it ain't good. It's just the fact that any breads and stuff like that stacks a lot of calories and fat on you, especially as you can see. I've got plenty of that fat to go around. But anyway, when I come on here to talk about this evening, I'm thinking about drilling a water well here in the spring too. Maybe y'all don't know how you can winch out a well. Well, my father taught me, and his father before him, and it works. Whether a lot of people may not believe in that or not, I don't know, but it works for us. We've gotten wells many times. What you do is you get you a peach tree limb and cut it into a Y, and you put it in your hand like this and hold it straight out in front of you. When that peach tree comes across, when you're walking, when it comes across a vein of water, it will twist down, straight down in your hand. You will have nothing to do with it. You're just holding a little tension against each side of the fork. And when it comes across water, it'll point down and you'll get water there. How good a water? Who knows? Till you drill it. But there's water there. Unless there's a pipeline there running from the city. Now you might get something like that kind of funny. Or a sewer line, it might come across too. So you want to be careful in the city about those things. You have to know what the sewer lines and water lines are. But normally, anywhere there's a vein down there of water, that peach tree will show you where the vein of water is, if there's water down there. Now another thing you can use if you don't have a peach tree limb, any type of fruit tree limb will work pretty much the same. Like I say, you cut it into a Y. I would show you if I had a limb in here, but I don't have any peach tree limb right now either. But any type of fruit tree limb, such as apple, it will work. Cherry, let's see, what other kind? Pear, any kind of fruit tree limb will work. But if you don't have a fruit tree limb, you can use copper. Copper wire, same way. It will draw, when you get over the vein of water, that copper will point straight down. And I believe in the copper bracelet. I've lost mine. I had one for a long time. I used to wear it. It had my girlfriend's name on it once when we was together, but it's been lost and gone. She might have took it with her. Heck, I don't know. She might have got some mad at me. But anyway, that's another story, ha. But the copper will draw moisture, and it draws to water, and that's what copper will do. When you come across a vein of water, whether it be a water line pipe, it may draw down to that too, because there's water in it. That's a little tip on finding a water well. When you're witching a water well, it's called witching a water well, or wishing, or witching, or whatever you want to call it. But it's finding water is what it'll do, and it works if there's water. Now, there's no telling how many feet down it is. Now that's another thing. You may have, there's been people known to have to drill several hundred feet before they found water, especially in Missouri. Missouri, sometimes they have to go 200-300 feet down or more to get water. I think my sister said the well they was on out there in the country of Pineville was 1,500 feet down before they hit water. And it was to run pine estates for all those log cabins that was built out there. And cabins, my sister had a cabin once there, and she lived in that community. It was real pretty there. They all had 5-acre tracts of land and a home on their properties, but that one well they all had to pay in there so much a month for the upkeep of the well. It wasn't as much as what rural water cost me here. Every month I'm out probably at least $70 on the average a month of city and rural water for this little old place to run. And we don't use that much rural water. I don't even use it on my garden because it would kill my plants if I did. It's got too much chlorine, too much chemical in it to clean the water up. The water's not fit here. That water's not fit to drink. Well, they say it is. They say it's the best they got. Well, it may be, but it'll shut your kidneys down. I've been in the hospital twice for that. Bladder infections and stuff, me and Ma both. So we don't drink the potable water no more coming out of the water tap. We put a filter on it in less than 3 weeks, not quite a month. It was plump full of nothing but jet black stuff that you couldn't get one drop of water out of. So that ain't safe to drink. You can imagine what it's doing to your kidney. Now I'm not saying the bottled water is much better. In some cases it ain't. It may not be. But we still have to go with what we can get. We have to drink something. Water for drinking is very important. Good drinking water is. Well, that's why I want to drill a well here, because I know there was once some good, clear, sweet, clean drinking water here. Now, that's not to say I'm going to get it again, because my grandpa dug an open duct well. He dug about 15 feet down his water. He went to 20, 25, I think, total for his hole, and it was 6 foot around in a circle. It was 6 feet across, I believe. But the city came along with these sewer lines and water lines and made him fill his well in because it's open dug. He said, oh, you had to get the sewer in it. Well, whose fault's that? They brought their darn sewer lines in after he already had his well. But still, you know those laws around here, they rule. They for the good of all, but really, personally, I think it was better off with an outside privy and just burn the manure or put it out on the garden, unless you're taking medications and stuff in your digestion system as you take a, well, you know, go to the bathroom. That stuff, your stool, in other words, can be used on the garden, but not if you're taking a lot of medications, because who knows what chemicals is in that? I don't. You don't. And people throw them down the sewers and the water every day, and it gets recycled right back to you. I've seen people put Drano or down or antifreeze even in their washing machines to keep them from freezing and busting, and that stuff will go right in the drain, goes in the sewer line, goes out into our rivers and streams. No telling how much chemicals actually get dumped in our rivers and streams. They tell us not to wash with dish soap in the creeks up there. You know, out on the water, when you're washing dishes, not to put dish soap in or any type of detergent in the creeks and stuff. The city runs more chemicals and stuff in the water and recycles it than anybody. And that's a fact. And you take the chlorine, you take the bleach, you take all this stuff that people use, not just the city, but the people, putting it in those water chemicals and stuff, just may not be good for everybody. We don't know how much chlorine each body can handle. All of us are made different. And the older we get, the weaker our cells are going to be on reproduction and on filtering out those impurities that you're taking into your body. Your body's trying to get rid of it as fast as you're putting them in. We don't know just exactly how the chlorine affects. You've got to remember, chlorine is made from mustard gas. Hang on a second. I think my time's about up. We've probably talked 15 minutes. But I'll be right back with you, and don't worry, I'll do the next video. Hang on.